link with at least one person. I just did mine, and I hope you are also doing yours. Okay, here we go. And thank you also for tuning in once again. And, this is a podcast where we pause to reflect, lean in, and move forward with purpose. And again, I'm your host, David Joe, and I'm so glad you've chosen to spend the next few minutes with me today. Or if you're watching the replay, if you happen to watch the replay, it's still going to be the day you watch it. All right. And I know you could have been anywhere doing anything, but here you are, and that matters a lot to me. And again, and it means so much to me. And thank you so much for tuning in. And, you know, yesterday was a special day for fathers. And I want to take this opportunity to wish our father happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. It is better late than never. It is better late than never. And I believe our fathers had a wonderful time and a wonderful day. Um, so let's see. All right. And I wrote something. I wrote something brief for fathers, and it's just an acronym. And I said, Father, the F stands for being faithful, A, available, the T, teacher, honorable, H, E, encouraging, and the R represents responsible. And this acronym captures the essence of what it means to be a strong and a loving father. Someone who leads with faith, is present, imparts wisdom, lives with integrity, uplifts others, and takes responsibility with care. And again, happy Father's Day to all fathers as well as potential fathers. Watch this space.
Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me as we dive headfirst into thrilling stories of personal growth, daring adventures, and transformative experiences. Get ready to be motivated, inspired, and empowered to live your life to the fullest. So mark your calendar, set your alarm, and get ready to step out, step in with me every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Subscribe now and let's step into the unknown together. This is Step Out, Step In. The journey begins here. Step Out, Step In podcast, live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe today.
All right, again, thank you for tuning in to today's episode. And today's topic is both refreshing and stretching. It's what should I say? Oh, it's a simple phrase, but one that holds incredible power. And the title is Stay Curious and Challenge Yourself. Stay curious and challenge yourself. I owe you a full call. And I know, and thank you also. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're saying I thank Jehovah God Almighty for your life and entire family. Same applies to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. She's in the United Kingdom. How many hours are away from us? About 5 hours, but you're here with us tonight. God bless you so much. Yes, 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 yes. And you are also highly blessed and favored. Favored. Thank you so much. You know, you know, life can easily become a routine, ladies and gentlemen. It can become a cycle. You wake up, you go to work, you a day turns into a week turns into months, and gradually that passion starts to dim. But what if the antidote for stagnation is curiosity? What if uh, the antidote for stagnation is curiosity? Yes, that call will come. I promise you. And what if the key to growth is to the key to growth is the courage to challenge yourself. The key to growth is to challenge yourself. And tonight we're going to dive into that topic, um, to be curious and you challenge yourself. Being curious and challenging yourself. Okay, let's see here. All right, so let's dive into it. Episode 109, Stay Curious and Challenge Yourself. So, what does it mean? What does it mean to stay curious? We want to break it down as we journey through tonight's topic. And I believe you have something you're jotting down, at least something. You're taking notes as well. All right, so let's start off with what it means to stay curious. Or to stay curious means to maintain a sense of wonder, openness, and hunger for learning. Let me say that again. Being curious is to maintain a sense of wonder, openness, and hunger for learning. You know, it is not about having all the answers, ladies and gentlemen, but it's about asking the right questions. It's not about being perfect, which of course nobody can be perfect. You and I can never be perfect. It's about being present and engaged in the world around us. So, Curious says that why is it the way it is? Now, when you're curious, you ask about some pertinent questions. It says, why is it the way it is? It also asks that what else could be possible? And what can I learn from this? I keep telling people that anything and everything you go through, there's a teachable and a learning moment in it. Everything you go through. But you know, most of the time we focus on what we are going through instead of asking what is in there that I can learn from. What is a teachable moment in this situation? What is a teachable moment in this moment? And you know, it is a mindset. It is a mindset that says that there's more to discover, and I want to find out and observe everything around them. Think about that. And and by the way, you know, find a way to give the right answers to the children or to children when they ask these questions. There was this little boy who used to suck his thumb, and his mother was trying every possible means to have him stop sucking his thumb. So one day his mother asked him, told him, if you keep sucking your thumb, your belly will grow big. So he had that at the back of his mind. He went to the grocery store with the mom one day, saw this heavily pregnant woman. He stopped, looked at her, and said, "Oh, woman, I know what you did." To that little boy, he thought that the lady had been sucking her thumb. That is why her belly was so big. But the lady, I mean, she was, how can this little boy come tell me that I knew what you did for you to have such a big stomach? You know, so kids are very curious and they ask endless questions. They want to know. They are curious. And they are not bogged down by pride or fear or looking foolish. They are just curious, ladies and gentlemen. And that's something we as adults will lose. But we don't have to lose that. So let's look at a few ways by which you and I can be curious or we can stay curious. All right? So let's do this. Let's go through about five ways. Let's look about five just like this one. Or even having a conversation. Dig deeper, ladies and gentlemen. We have to dig deeper. Challenge what you know. Challenge what you know. And you know, as a person of faith, I back this podcast with scriptures. And in Proverbs chapter 18 and the verse 15 from the English Standard Version, it says that an intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks. An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. Be that person who seeks. You know, in this day and age, we don't have any excuse of not acquiring knowledge. We have that highway of the internet with so much information out there that you and I can always seek knowledge. We can always seek knowledge. You know, so ask questions often. Number two is read and learn broadly. You know, curiosity thrives when we expose ourselves. Or let me put it this way, curiosity thrives when you expose yourself to different perspectives, to different topics and cultures. Proverbs 23 and 23 tells us that buy the truth and do not sell. Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding. It says, buy the truth and do not sell. In other words, the scriptures is telling us what we have to acquire knowledge. And ladies and gentlemen, knowledge always doesn't come cheap. You and I know it doesn't always come cheap. And most of the time, we have to read books outside our usual uh, um, scope where we find ourselves. You know, yeah, let's find books with no pictures, and let's read extensively. Let's read broadly. Um, let's read books that is outside the usual, you know, sometimes we have selected books that we will read. I was looking at this statistics, and it says that in the United States, the average American reads about 17 books per year. The average American reads 17 books per year, 365 days, and it's only 17 books. In fact, they didn't tell us in this survey um, the number of pages in every given book. So even if it's a book with 15 pages, it's still a book. And for the whole year, 365 days, the average American reads 17 books. In India, the average Indian reads 16 books per year, 16 books per person per year. In the United Kingdom, 15 books per person per year. And you know, but we have to do better. Not only reading books, but let's also watch documentary on things, something you've never thought about. Listen to someone whose views are different from yours. And I do that. When I'm preparing this podcast, the scripts for it, um, I tend to read outside the scope, look at other views, look at other statistics and all that, and it's very interesting. It has been, I've come to enjoy it whilst I'm preparing this. Sometimes it becomes quite exhausted. you know. So let's allow our minds to travel even when your body cannot. So read and learn broadly. Read and learn broadly. So I said number one, ask questions often. Number two, read and learn broadly. Number three is be present and observant. So much of life passes us by because we are distracted. We get distracted all the time. And ladies and gentlemen, every now and then, let's put our phone down. Let me say that again. Every now and then, let's put our phone down. Let's give that phone a break. You are not going to die. I know most people's life depends on that gadget, that little thing in the palms of your hands. That thing right there. But you are not going to die when you put it down. And watch people, observe, listen to conversations. Now, these days, we can't listen to conversations anymore because we have the head bowed syndrome. Everybody's head is bowed, looking into the gadget. And as we listen to conversations, notice how things work. Curiosity grows when you slow down enough to observe the details. That is how curiosity grows. Slow down, pause, observe, ask questions. And sometimes your next breakthrough is hidden in plain sight. Your next breakthrough is hidden in plain sight. So be present and observant. Number four is surround yourself with curious people. Spend time with those who ask big questions, those who chase dreams, and explore new things. Ask questions. Spend time with those who ask those big questions, those who chase dreams and explore new things. Their curiosity will challenge and inspire yours. In Proverbs 27 and verse 17, Proverbs 27 and verse 17 says that as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot sharpen an iron with wood. It takes an iron to sharpen another iron. That is why you have to spend time with people who chase dreams, who have big dreams. Not people who will flash down your dream or abort your dream or kill your dream before it happens. People who explore new things. And in fact, one of the things you have to do each and every single day is to be determined that you will learn something new. You know, that is one of the things that I do. I try to learn something new every day. You know, I try to learn something new every day. And it helps. Just this past weekend, uh, I learned that there was a color called nude. How can a color be nude? But I learned that. I learned that there was a color. You know, I learned that there's a color called nude, and there's another one called um, uh, you know, it's one of those. Yeah, but I learned something new. So be determined that you will learn something new. And number five is journal your thoughts and questions. It says write the vision and make it plain on tablets that he may run who reads it. Tells us that tablets didn't just come; it's been there way back. But the key point here is write the vision. That means that write it down, make it visible, place it where you can always see it. Let's write our thoughts. Now, you know, this gadgets we have in our hands has so much uh, um, it has so much usefulness. I mean, we have the notepads in it where you can open up and write down your ideas. I mean, there are apps that you can download to write ideas down and all that. Let's take use of it. Let's make use of it. Write down what you're thinking. What did you learn today? And what questions do you still have? You know, most of the time we go through the day without really asking any questions or really at the end of the day not assessing what we learned in the course of the day. What do you, but I enjoy it because I know that at least it is blessing at least one person out there. And that is all that matters. That is all that matters. It's about taking bold steps even when you don't feel ready. It's about progress, not perfection, ladies and gentlemen. So let me be real. Growth is never comfortable. Growth is never comfortable, but it is worth it. It is always worth it. So, number one, challenge yourself. So, let's look at a few steps as to um, how to challenge yourself. And I want us to go through just 5 steps for tonight. And let's start with set a stretch goal. Set a stretch goal. Pick a goal that excites and scares you at the same time. Are you thinking about one? goal that excites you, gets you excited, but at the same time, it scares you when you have to do it. Sometimes I go through the week. Um, Last week, for instance, most of the time, let me say, most of the time after this episode, I know which topic is coming next. So in the course of the week, I research and I get the topics down, and I begin to build the script on it. Last week, as of Friday, I really didn't have anything to talk about. In fact, it was Sunday evening when I really had this topic I wanted to talk about. I have other topics that I have reserved, but um, I look at um, the time and the season, and so Sunday I had one, and I started building on it on Sunday night through Monday. Even though I was excited, it scared me that what if I'm not able to complete the script and before the presentation. So pick something that excites you. At the same time, it scares you. It could be launching a project. It could be learning a new skill. It could be facing your fears. And we all have fears. And the most important thing is when you face your fears, you overcome those fears. The goal should make you uncomfortable in a good way. Because when you look at the end results, you know that this is going to be good. It begins with yes. Not too long ago, I had a gentleman reach out to me. He has his podcast, and he asked if I wanted to come on here together with other podcasters who got on. This was a new opportunity for me in this you know, and I said yes. So I got on, and it was a quite um, beautiful experience, and I enjoyed.